Universe mode in WWE 2K25 still might not have triple threat and fatal 4-way rivalries, but you can actually make them really quickly in game, and I'm going to go ahead and show you just how to do it. Let's hop into it. So the first step to creating these triple threat and fatal 4-way rivalries within Universe mode, even though there's not an option for it, is by figuring out which rivalry actions and cutscenes really work the best and really just make sense. So the first rivalry action that I really want to talk about here is the mid-match distractions. You have the mid-match distraction attack, mid-match music distraction, mid-match ringside distraction, and the mid-match stage distraction. So all four of these distractions involve 3 wrestlers. Typically you would use this for a 1v1 rivalry where one of your rivals will try and distract one of the others in a match, and the third person, the random opponent, is just a throwaway. But in this case, it's a great chance for you to use all 3 of these people if you have a triple threat rivalry, or 3 out of the 4 in a fatal 4-way rivalry, to really get them all involved and interact. So for example, in real life right now, Cody Rhodes obviously won back the WWE title against John Cena, and then it's like, who's the next contender on SmackDown? It's really hard to come up with one or a couple, but with Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul getting that huge tag team win, maybe they both feel they should be pushed towards a WWE title match. So guess what? Maybe Drew McIntyre first is like, I want it, and Cody, the fighting champ he is, wanting a big title fight, will be like, okay, I'll give you a match tonight. So Drew and Cody face off, but a mid-match distraction happens because Logan Paul, all of a sudden after teaming with Drew McIntyre, now turns on him, causes a distraction, costs him the match, and that enters a 3-person triple threat feud with this single rivalry action and not needing the in-game rivalry system. There's also a couple more distractions that you can use that are very similar to the mid-match distractions. Ringside guest removal and then also championship feud also involve 3 people, so you can really do the same kind of thing with the mid-match distractions for getting all 3 involved, but having it a little bit different if a champion's involved, or just spicing up with maybe a guest removal to kind of shake things up so it's not always your typical mid-match distraction with that very same and similar animation between all those 4 rivalry actions. So something I like to do actually for triple threat rivalries and fatal 4-way rivalries is I figure out really how to use promos and backstage brawls to put them together, make it flow, as those are a big part of rivalries in real life. So promos are obviously limited to just 2 people, unfortunately, but there's workarounds for making it work with 3 or 4-person rivalries. To really start a rivalry, it's pretty easy. What I like to do is I have someone call out a champion, for an example, which really puts 2 people to start in that rivalry, and you think it's going to be a normal rivalry, but then I think right after that, it's a good idea to have a backstage brawl where a heel can come in and attack the wannabe contender who called out the champion. That way you're immediately entering that 3rd person, making it clear it's a triple threat feud with multiple contenders, and you can even do it with a 4th contender. Maybe you have 2 separate promos, multiple people calling out multiple contenders, backstage brawls with all contenders and champions attacking each other. It really creates a big chaotic mess, which is really what you want with a triple threat or fatal 4-way rivalry, because it's supposed to be chaos. There's multiple people, different ambitions, all that craziness, so tying promos and backstage brawls together really makes sense for setting it up and really continuing this feud with limited options in game because there's not that triple threat or fatal 4-way rivalry actions. Another rivalry action that I kind of like to use in triple threat or fatal 4-way rivalries to shake it up is a winner saves loser from the reversal section of rivalry actions. This is an interesting one that's more so if you're having a triple threat or fatal 4-way rivalry for contenders or the mid-card scene, because it doesn't make sense for like the championship contenders really. So if you have 2 of your contenders really face off, or 2 people in this rivalry face off, then you get the 3rd try and come in and attack them after. So it really makes sense if you have 2 faces and 1 heel, or 2 faces and 2 heels, so it's a fatal 4-way, that kind of thing. And it really sets up this kind of dynamic of, are these 2 faces now going to work together in this rivalry? But at the end of the day, only 1 person can come away with the rivalry win. I think the best example of how this is really used in real life is just what happened with this Lyra, Bayley, and Becky IC title rivalry, as you kept having Lyra try to save Bayley, Bayley try to save Lyra. So you got that dynamic, even though it's all 3 of 2 faces who are still kind of at odds and still wanting to come away with the rivalry win, but they're still at the same time helping each other out. So it sets up a cool dynamic that maybe try and go ahead and use for your fatal 4-way or triple threat rivalries. Also, there's certain times of the year really in WWE in your universe mode where 3-person and 4-person rivalries make more sense to happen, and it just happened in real life with WWE with the women's world title. You saw it was a feud between Io the champion and Rhea Ripley still trying to get that win over her, but Naomi shockingly cashes in on Raw and creates that triple threat rivalry for SummerSlam. And the great thing is there is Money in the Bank cash-in options, cash-in attempt save, and foiled cash-in attempt, which are great to use in this situation for a triple threat rivalry or a fatal four-way rivalry built around Money in the Bank and cashing in. And these are actually phenomenal because you can set who that third person in the match is, similar to the mid-match distractions, where you already know who's going to cash in on who, the champion, and you pick that third person. So you can insert, like example, Rhea Ripley in as that third person to say maybe Io Sky from Naomi in this example, as a great way to really show, once again, two faces. And honestly, maybe it's not even two faces. The heel can actually make a shocking save out of nowhere because they desperately want the title so bad that they would save the champion so they could be the one to beat them and not the Money in the Bank holder. After Money in the Bank, this is the best option to really start a new triple threat rivalry while still making also your Money in the Bank holder relevant on your shows. And also, really to finish that rivalry, instead of just choosing the cash-in option where they attack or come after a match, make it a triple threat cash-in attempt during a match, because that makes it even crazier and really continues to show that this is a triple threat rivalry. I think that's pretty cool, and that's what Naomi really did in real life, so I think it's a sick way to really show that triple threat rivalry. Another great rivalry action specifically for fatal four-way rivalries is within these types of rivalries, you see these times where the GM will make it a 2v2 tag match, pitting two of the rivals with each other against another two. So you have the disrespect rivalry action of abandoned tag partner, which I think is a great way to really show how heated these rivalries get, and how even though you have to be aligned for a night for a tag match, it's still a singles rivalry with all four people. So using this to really show how heated it gets and how everyone's really in it for themselves, I think is a great way to really mix up your fatal four-way rivalries and make it really easy to spice things up. And besides the abandoned tag partner action, you also have the infuriated tag partner action and the pompous tag partner action. These are also two great ways to show these forced tag teams not being able to operate correctly or really well. Because it's a fatal four-way rivalry, everyone wants to come away on top, so obviously it's really hard to coexist in these situations. It's a great way to show it and keep your universe mode realistic with these fatal four-way rivalries. So those are some great rivalry actions where you can include all 3 or 4 of your rivalry members within all these actions, but at the same time, you don't want to forget about the typical rivalry actions just meant for 1v1, because all 3 or 4 people in your rivalry don't need to be used in every single moment of this rivalry. So don't be afraid to use the attacks, ambushes, brawls, cheap shots, those things you've already been using for your 1v1 rivalries, and sprinkle them in and really mix them up with your other rivalry actions that include 3 or 4 members of each rivalry. And now we've talked about some rivalry actions and how to use promos and backstage brawls to really make these triple threat and fatal four-way rivalries happen. I'm going to give you some examples of putting all of it into action and some examples of rivalries, so you can see how it would work week to week using certain rivalry actions involving all 3 or 4 people, and then ones using just a couple of people within the rivalry. So let's go and hop into that. Our first storyline will take place in the main event scene for the men or the women competing for the WWE or the world titles. It will feature 3 superstars. We'll label them Superstar A, B, and C. Superstar B will either be a face or a heel, and he's going to start off by cutting a promo on Superstar A, who is your champion, and can also be a face or a heel. Superstar B is cutting this promo as he feels he or she should be the next title contender to face Superstar A. Later that night, however, Superstar C, who is a heel, will attack your champion backstage. The following week, Superstar C will come out for a promo discussing how they want Superstar's A title, but then Superstar B will come out to confront them, saying they should be up next. This will lead Superstar C to end up attacking Superstar B. Later that night, Superstar B will come backstage looking for revenge on Superstar C with another brawl. In week 3, Superstars B and C will have a #1 contenders match, but it ends in a DQ as Superstar A looks for that revenge on Superstar C from 2 weeks prior, as Superstar A will attack Superstar C in that match. With our PLE 1 week away, last week's DQ is now made a triple threat match, and now backstage brawl breaks out as all 3 competitors start going at it, heading into the PLE, where they'll finally fight for that world title. Our final storyline will be over a vacant title. In the first week, the GM will announce that the world champion was injured during their title win at the last PLE, and they'll need to vacate their title, as they'll be out for a long period of time. Over the coming weeks, contenders will earn the right to fight for the title at the upcoming PLE. Superstar A will come out for a promo, advocating for him or herself to have a shot at the title, but he or she would be quickly interrupted by Superstar B, saying that he or she is more suited to compete for the title. Later that night, Superstar C would attack Superstar A as the mix for who should compete for the title continued to grow. In the following week, Superstar C would come out and explain why they attacked Superstar A, saying it's because he or she didn't deserve the match, that he or she is not as good as them. But in Superstar D, a fourth superstar would now come out to confront Superstar C as they think they're the top pick to compete for the title. Superstar C would then follow up with another attack, this time on Superstar D. Later that night, backstage, Superstar A would get their revenge on Superstar C, attacking them. Then the following week, all four superstars winning this title match would compete in a fatal four-way in the main event, with the winner being the first person clinched to compete in the world title match. Then the following week, it'd be a triple threat match in the main event, with the three remaining superstars who didn't win last week getting the opportunity to face off one last time, with the winner filling the remaining spot for the world title match at the PLE. And with that, the PLE, the two winners of the qualifying matches, would go on to face each other to crown the winner of the vacated title.